Hello, Nano Love. Welcome to this house. Come live in this house. Today we're going to talk a little bit about my whole color customization process. And for that, I'm going to show you a very special client who has light hair. I'm going to tell her whole story. And you already know how this works, right? Yes, opening my Google Photos with my clients folder for you. I keep my clients' materials, The first photo, the first video, the maintenance sessions, the before and after, from the day she gets the NANOslim put in to the day she takes it out. I have this habit of cataloging everything, And I always separate each client's appointments into their own folder. So don't put it off. Subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications, like, comment, and share with that friend of yours who really needs to know about NANOslim. Come be a part of this community. The crucial point about NANOslim, right? The highlight of NANOslim is really the fact that the hair stays healthy from start to finish. Yeah, hair extensions have a terrible reputation for damaging your natural hair. So it's really common in a conversation between friends when one of them mentions wanting to get hair extensions for the others to say, "Don't do it. Your hair will get ruined. Don't do it. You're going to lose your natural hair. It'll get limp. It'll get thin," and so on. And I clearly remember several clients who would sit in my chair when I worked with other techniques saying that, and I really had to explain that. If the proper care wasn't taken, depending on the client's routine, it could indeed damage their natural hair. That was really frustrating for me. It was really sad because as a professional, I wanted to offer an amazing, wonderful technique, but it just wasn't possible. That technique didn't exist. And today with NANOslim, my reality is completely different. My reality now is one of satisfaction, both for me and for my clients. And having developed NANOslim has brought me more joy and more motivation to do all the processes involved in hair extensions. And there was a day when I thought about giving up because of so many problems that kept happening, with adhesive, with keratin. Thank God, today with NANOslim, everything is different. I'm going to share my NANOslim story with Jessica. Come along with me. As always, I open up my Google Photos for you. And this is Jessica, this beautiful, wonderful woman who's been with me since 2021. We had already done some consultations over WhatsApp. Yeah, and in February 2022, look, exactly on February 12th, 2022, she decided to get the NANOslim. Jessica had already used adhesive before, okay? And she had some problems. Yeah, it was really heavy, it would slip, get sticky, and she was afraid. So when she found out about NANOslim through social media, she started talking to me so that we could, narrow down her wishes as a client, mine as a professional, and all her particular concerns. What particular concerns, Vanessa? Concerns about the health of her natural hair, her current situation, the moment she's in, the color and texture of her hair, and her final goal. So aligning expectations is extremely important for the final result. And then, this is Jessica's hair, right? Her natural hair. You can clearly see it has a wavy mixed texture. And the hair is also quite light, right? It's a medium blonde with a really ashy tone. So all of this can sometimes be a barrier to finding the perfect hair for the client. And in Jessica's case, I had just bought a large bundle of hair. And this hair, well, she didn't want it that long. So I split it up, right? I cut that hair and sold the other part to someone else. So I was able to serve her with a magnificent, perfect hair color, almost exactly like her own hair the first time. What was Jessica's situation at that moment? She had already had 2 cases of COVID, and those 2 bouts of COVID ruined her hair. She also has a family history of alopecia. Her mother deals with this issue. She also uses our NANOslim. She loves the NANOslim. It brought a great solution for her day-to-day life. And Jessica also inherited this congenital issue of alopecia. And with the 2 bouts of COVID, her hair really became very difficult to manage day to day because it became brittle with more thinning, and it was harder to style, take care of, and finish her hair. So that was Jessica's hair before. You can see there all the issues with the texture and color, right? And so we did the whole transformation with hair that was very similar, almost identical. The hair we chose, I just needed to add a few highlights to really match her hair color. And we finished it naturally. So this was the result, okay? Take a good look at the before. This is Jessica's before. And here's the after. Right after we put in the NANOslim wefts, which were two wefts, one on top measuring 31 centimeters and a smaller one. Yeah, this hair of hers lasted, guys, for many years. We're going to do the count now, okay? Look at this amazing result. Spectacular. Check out the result of this hair with no filter at all, right? So you can see the texture and color. There really was a symbiosis, a synergy, and the result turned out truly fantastic, perfect. And that's exactly what she wanted, right? This medium length hair just below the shoulders and so natural. People didn't even notice she had extensions put in. They just thought her natural hair had grown. Honestly, guys, it's unnoticeable, fantastic. Today we're talking a lot about color in this case, right? And the hair we used on Jessica was hair I had bought right here at the salon itself. Okay? So perfect. This was the setup we did that day, and there was a filter on, so the hair looked a bit more red, right? But you saw there from the camera itself, the real color of this hair, right? So it's really, really, really delicate, right? Sublime. Such a sublime result. It was really, really cool to do this work. And as you know, I follow the whole evolution of the client's hair. So of course I'm going to share Jessica's maintenance updates with you, okay? She also wears her hair straightened. And actually these days she's been wearing it straightened more often. And this is how the NANOslim wefts arrive. So let me check the date of this photo for us. Here I have earlier materials from Jessica, but this photo is from August 2024. In other words, it had already been 2 years and 4 months. No, 2 years and 6 months, okay? 2 years and 6 months, the same NANOslim weft. And she came to do the replacement after 3 years. Exactly right. Actually, a little more than that. So, NANOslim really is something special. This is how the client arrives for maintenance, right? The hair isn't worn out. There are no hair bulbs. I'll even zoom in here so you can see it clearly, okay? There are no hair bulbs, those little white dots all over the weft. The natural hair loss is minimal. And here is her natural hair, which actually, her natural hair was already longer than the weft she had been using since 2022. So there are no bald spots on the scalp. And this is very important to point out because many techniques over time really do cause irreversible problems to the client's scalp and hair. So here you can see, right? I'm holding the wefts, which are much shorter than her hair, already quite worn out, right? 3 years, almost 3 years, and even so, they still provided a lot of volume. So ever since Jessica came to me in 2021 to evaluate the NANOslim and decided on it in 2022, up until this photo in August 2024, we can see how her expectations were met because her biggest fear, due to alopecia and having had COVID twice, was that her hair would get even more damaged. It was really the well-known side effects of hair extensions that she feared the most. And with NANOslim, we proved that her hair could, in fact, look very natural. And now we're about to embark on the fantastic adventure of new hair. At this point, Jessica wanted longer hair. She had already gotten used to it and had seen all the promised and achieved results with NANOslim. So it was time for new hair. And I have a pretty abundant showcase here with natural Brazilian hair. She chose dark hair and I did all the color customization for her, just like I did the first time. This matter of trust is everything, right? Because that's how we can deliver excellent work. So let's follow this whole process. This is the hair she chose. There are 3 wefts of naturally wavy hair, and I did all the color customization before the day she was going to make the change. So here I'm even showing what our kits look like, right? They're ready, and the color is customized. Look how beautiful this hair turned out. We didn't do anything to her hair. And the result was fantastic. So that's what color customization is. You really have to understand colorimetry to get to base tone and reproduce natural hair color, even if hair is dark. And that's what Brazilian hair allows because hair hasn't been chemically treated. It's hair that's free from straightening, free from coloring. So we can lighten it, break down the color perfectly without blotches, and the result looks very natural. That's the quality that Brazilian hair delivers. So comparing it, even with my own hair, which is much lighter now, look how these highlights turned out such a natural blonde. And I also did a comparison with dark hair, right, where you go from dark hair to blonde hair. If it's natural, we can achieve any shade because Brazilian hair really has the quality for us to do this process. okay? And honestly, this color turned out spectacular. And now let's check out the result on Jessica's head. I'll leave Jessica's testimonial, okay, in its entirety here on this channel, the full testimonial from her. But from here, we'll move on to the process, all right? Here she arrived, and we start by removing the old wefts. We film the condition in which this hair arrives, healthy. We can see here that there's no damage, no breakage, nothing being pulled out, right? These are wefts that stay really secure on the client's head. We start by removing, moistening, and from the underside, right from the finishing side, we use a hand needle to undo all the stitches, okay? Just showing a little bit of the whole process here. We take them out one by one, and it's really quick. You can even do it in pairs as well. On that day, I recorded the lessons that are now available in the United States for everyone who buys our NANOslim weft kits. The lessons already include this process for you, and there we were filming the new hair and the removal process. After we remove the wefts, I dead angle and show the amount of hair that was stuck to the wefts because hair falls out daily, but where the hair was attached, it stays in the brush, so when we comb it out, right? And this is the amount of hair from 45 days, which was the maintenance interval for Jessica. Okay, so it's almost no hair at all. Yeah, in the shower, when I wash my hair, way more than that falls out. So here we can see her natural hair is really healthy, so we can go ahead and put in the wefts. Okay, here I'm testing, also comparing the color of the hair from the old wefts to the new NANOslim wefts. And you can really see it's perfect, right? Look how beautiful it is. It's going to be such an amazing color. Truly perfect. Her natural hair. This is a record of her natural hair. May 29th, 2025. So she spent more than 3 years with the same Brazilian hair wefts. And that's what's truly cool for you to observe. That her hair grew out completely full and abundant. Not thin at all, not missing any hair, or looking weak in any way. It was hair that grew strong. Here's the whole application process. We apply it from underneath, so when you run your hand over the top, you don't feel anything. No little knots, no visible finishing, everything is tucked inside. And then we make these points, right? The stitches are completely hidden. So here I'm going to show a little bit of how it's done because in our classes, the process is really thorough. Okay? The whole process. I had already secured the top weft, the top track. Now I'm securing the nape track and then the middle track, right, the intermediate one. And there on my t-shirt, NANOslim delivers what it promises. Now here we're lowering, right, the intermediate track. The nape one is already done. Now lowering the intermediate track. And there you can see how the finishing looks, how natural it is, how the color turned out. We didn't even trim the ends or anything like that. And it still turned out with a perfect finish. Showing the elastic barrier as well, right, which is the comfort that the NANOslim track has to stretch. So we don't have any traction on the hair follicles because of that. Notice on the sides there that they're not being pulled. And there's the celebration. Really irreverent, right? That's us celebrating our result. Here's the result, right, of the curly hair. Look at the blend, right, between the natural hair color and the color of the tracks. So what did we decide to do there? To do the placement, right, the implantation of the tracks. Next, we hydrate the hair, and then we were going to do a styled blowout the way she likes her hair finished. So she has 2 ways to wear it. She can wear her hair naturally curly and moisturized, or she can wear it straightened with a blowout. Here the hair is styled with a round brush blowout, which we do a lot in Brazil. It's the blowout that already comes out curly, right, with that curling iron effect, and clients love it. Look at how the hair is taking shape, right? The styling looks really beautiful. Check out the finish on the NANOslim track, perfect. Look how gorgeous this result is. The hair is blow dried. You can notice the color and texture. These photos turned out amazing. Amazing, supernatural. Look how much it enhanced her beauty. This photo is my favorite. It looks really natural, truly beautiful. And I'm even going to add the video here that we put together for the end. Look how stunning it is to see the before and after. How wonderful, right? It turned out perfect. A fantastic result from the color customization with NANOslim wefts, which really can enhance the look. So here we have a fabulous result where you were able to see the whole process of how the client comes to us, the records we take, the steps we set up, the beginning, the entire history, right? The reason she looked for NANOslim, all the progress of the hair, and our clients stay with us for many years. Unless she wanted to go back to her natural hair now, there would be no problem at all. She could because there was no damage to her natural hair. And this is so you can see how this color customization process works as well. And you dreamed of transforming your hair into long, luscious locks and faced obstacles? A technique you disliked? A color that wasn't done well and looked obvious? What about you? Tell me in the comments what situation you've been through, or what dream you have. Just know that with NANOslim, it's possible even from a distance, because we have a complete training program so you can enjoy benefits of NANOslim. So come join us, come be part of this family, and don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and share with that person you know will have their life changed by NANOslim.